Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce my dear friend Umashankar, who's a senior quality professional with over 22 years of experience in various fields, right from power conversion to automotive part supply, etc. Prior to his current role, he has worked with companies such as GE Power Conversion and Valeo. Currently, Uma is working as Senior General Manager of Quality, responsible for total quality management at IM Gears. Throughout his professional career, Uma has been recognized for his thorough knowledge in quality processes and his excellent communication skills, which has helped him build a good rapport with his customers, his suppliers, and also with various certification bodies. So, Uma, so how does it feel like coming to an interview like this and talking about your profession?
Thanks, Aditya. Thanks for this opportunity. And to be honest, the industrial connect is always better. Okay, always dealing with machines, process, and then with the people where their organization is being. So where we get time to connect with people like you to say what we feel and what is the current evolution in the industry and market challenges and how the customers are evolving. It's great opportunity, and thanks for inviting me. And I hope this session will be useful for me as well as for you, and where you're going to take it to the IT team.
Excellent. All right. So Uma, why don't we start with you talking about IM Gears and what kind of products does IM Gear make?
So IM Gears is based out of Chennai. Okay. IM Gears is mainly on high precision manufacturing. So serving auto, aero, hydraulics, and industrial verticals. And the parts, I would say anything to do with machining. Okay, we do gears with pinion, ring, annulus, bevels, and differential assembly, driveline parts, gearbox parts, forks, drive shifters, motor shafts, armature. And coming to aero space, we are into actuators, pump gears. So anything to do with high precision machining, we are there. And we have 5 facilities, three in India, one in Morocco, and one in Belgium. Belgium is a non-production site where we only use the space for transporting parts to our Europe locations. This is pretty much about IMDS. And coming to specific on the machining, we take only complex machining. Okay, for example, in current environment, the machining, if you say CNC, anybody can do CNC. If it is VMC, anybody can do machining. So we take the challenging stuff which customer face a problem and they don't have find a solution. So this is our post. And for example, I can say we have started a new EV line, okay, last year where the gear grinding. Nobody, I would say, first kind in India, we do the helical teeth grinding. They do grinding. It's normal to do teeth by teeth, and we do a generative grinding. And this is done after heat treatment process. So this is a unique capability which we have developed a couple of last year as well. So anything to do with complex machining process, we are into it. And you can say that gear grinding, vacuum hardening, and we have the technical capability evolved in last couple of years, and IMDS was enormous. Again, it's coming from the market and the customers like us who demand on the product reliability. So we are into mainly on precision machining. I would say when I say machining, it's machining is not done using the raw material bus. We also use forging, castings. So anything to do with machining, the inputs can be anything, and we do machining, high precision machining. And again, coming to the customer base, we are into OEMs, supplies, and we are also tier one. And some cases we are also tier two. And any name OEM you have in India and overseas, we are there. And I would probably say that we are in 0 ppm for all our global customers.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, well, I think that's a great introduction, Uma. So I understand that and you also mentioned that you have been able to maintain 0 ppm for most of your customers. So I'll come to later your recipe for success on quality. But I just want to get into the nitty gritties of quality management. And I know that managing quality is a very big task for any company. So, I just want to know to begin with that what are the most pressing quality challenges do you have at IM Gears? And maybe in the same breath you can explain what have you done to kind of mitigate some of those challenges.
Um, Aditya, to be honest, the customer expectations are increasing. It's increasing like anything. For mainly for the vehicle quality and performance, the customer expectations have gone up. For I would say the expectation in terms of requirements, and you know that the regulatory stuff which is getting tighter and tighter, and moreover when you are in global supply chain where you have to cater to all the locations. For example, Europe, US is the main requirement where we do supply for all the customers. And the customer expectations have gone up. The regulatory compliance is very stringent. I don't know whether you heard about the BS7 is going to come in India soon. So I think 2027 they are targeting. And the technological innovation, the rapid pace of technology innovation in the automotive industry, such as electrification and connectivity, presents new quality challenges for us. And the other stuff is the supply chain disruptions. Disruptions in the supply chain, including shortages of critical components, are impacting our production schedules and quality. Because it's when OEM builds a car, so they buy from Tier 1. And as we Tier 1, we get it from Tier 2. And how do you flow all the requirements from OEM to IMGS and translate the requirements to Tier 1 and Tier 2? Because now we are going up to the raw material. Okay, this is I would say the pressing challenge I would put in four buckets. One, the customer expectations, regulatory compliance, the technological innovation, and supply chain disruptions. These are the challenges which we currently see, and the complexity of product lines and variants. Earlier, you know that we cannot say that we are a high runner or mass production company anymore. For example, if you take aerospace, we have to the number of planes which is made in a month, so we have to make only 30 parts in a month, and sometimes you have to go for mass production. So the complexity of product lines and variants is also a key factor here, because the number of setup changes will make the changes in the production line, the disruption it happens. I would say it's not the disruption in a good way when the setup is changed then, and you have to change all the procedures, process from start to end to make sure this change is not affecting the entire line. So I would say these are the challenges which currently, as quality function, we foresee. Um, and the typical part for us is these are four for any quality function which is facing today. And above all, IMS has much more challenges to face. As I said, the
Mhm.
complexity of product lines and variants is very unique. For example, one day I talked to the aerospace customer, another day I have to take to the OEM
Yeah.
in India. Okay, this is the challenge, and the requirements are getting tougher and tougher. Okay, I can say that you remember as in those days, maybe 10, 15 years, we used to send only the pre-delivery inspection report to the customer
Yeah.
when the dispatch is going on. Now the traceability is becoming very, very tougher. Okay, I can say you that now the customers are directly mirroring what's going on in our shop floor. Okay,
Mhm.
today if I dispatch a quantity to overseas a customer where stringent requirement is there for Japan, where we are also getting monitored by the Japan government when its parts are coming outside India and based on their regulatory and the statutory requirements. So we have to give how many parts have been produced in that day, that shift, and what was the rejection. I need to photograph each of the reports and it needs to be published to the customer. So, and moreover, it's not that easy as we think, that the complex supply chain environment, I need to pull all together in one particular shot and give to the customer. So I would say the challenges are quite heavy, and moreover, yes, that is the reality we have to face and see how we are overcoming. So the traceability system is going to be a key factor. Okay, it's becoming tougher and tougher, and where the forum change management and control is getting critical as well, Aditya. And so
Sure.
what strategy we are trying to do is the only way is digital. Okay. So there are two phases which IMGS is looking at now to overcome these challenges. First, we'll digitize what we currently do. For example, you whatever you do in a paper, you just translate to a digital form and then start recording. Where we have started ETQ now, so the enterprise starting quality through excellence. We have started this 1 year back, and it has started giving results to us, and it's becoming easier also to manage and monitor all the inspection stuff. Okay, so that is one thing. And second phase is to directly pull all the data from the machines and the processes. Okay, for example, when there is a machine is running, so you pull all the data from the machine, what's happening there. Okay, whether it is tool life, whether the downtime, or it's a plant maintenance, or it's a breakdown maintenance. So we are trying to connect all the foreign changes in a digital form, and method of the inspection. Now what happens, the phase one, as I explained. So I inspect the part in a CMM, and then I post this in the ETQ, and then I know it's a digital form. So second phase, what we are trying is to directly get the data from the CMM. So it's you give the part, you inspect, and automatically values are getting pulled, and then it is putting in the form by itself. So this is one thing. And the regulatory compliance is mainly the first challenge, I would say, the awareness within our team as well as for everyone in the organization. Okay, so how we are going to collect the our requirements, and for example, when it's Europe, for automotive there is one requirement, and aerospace is one requirement, and in the US, you know that when we use the chemicals for instance for painting, we are also obliged not to use some of the chemicals. So we need to capture each and every detail, because it's not that easy. We have to capture each and every detail, and we need to see how it is connected to process. It's not only iron gas; it's also other tier one and tier two suppliers that we need to educate them. We need to build the reporting system for them, and if there is anything going wrong, obviously it's our name and brand reputation is going to getting into the picture. So we are trying to collect all the regulatory statutory compliance requirements across board, across verticals. I would say Arrow we are trying to collect for in one system, and industrial we are trying to collect one system, and auto is trying to collect one system. So we are trying to divide into four different verticals. So the regulatory requirements for countries, including India specifically, and so we are trying to see how this is going to affect the process. So the regulatory statutory compliance requirements is one thing, but how we are going to capture and translate this requirement up to the shop floor, the operator who's touching the part. For example, what we did is we have put S and R in each of the machine, where it is, for example, this particular feature is created in a machining process. That means it's a statutory regulatory complaints feature that is being generated in the process, just an awareness to the operator. So definitely we'll ask why it is SNR. So these are the things we are trying to do. And regarding the technological innovation, what we are trying to do is it's not only the process, okay, also the inspection that is becoming critical. For example, you cannot put a hi-fi machining, and then you can use a vernier on a micrometer to inspect those parts coming out of this machine. So we are trying to get this an inbuilt integrated inspection equipment. So where we are trying to take the part from the machine, and then automatically it inspects and gives the feedback to the machine, and then it automatically connects. So this is what we are trying to do. And the supply chain disruptions, what we are trying to do is we are classifying the supply base. Okay, I'd say high, medium, low risk. So low risk, just put in monitoring. Medium, we have to see how their performance is being monitored, and then we call them internally every month at the top level review to give them the attention what they need, where they're going wrong. I can tell you this one is very key, and we have this exercise for one of our project. So we have deployed our team to go along with them as a CFT. So it was our team. We didn't call them as a supplier. So three or four other folks from maintenance, production, quality was in the. We developed one of the special process last year. So we put our teams into the supplier place, and then we developed this process in order to make sure that all the requirements is being inbuilt. Okay, sending in emails and communicating them. Okay, they will understand, but in what way? The interpretation is key. So we have been with them for, I would say, for 45 days to 2 months to get the requirements on board. They have understood. They have clearly, it's been translated to the shop floor and it's been understood by the operator who's touching the part. But the key thing here is the operator who's touching the part should know whether it's CTQ or safety regulatory requirement feature that is I'm creating. So what should be aware of and what are the controls and what are the it's special. That means what I need to do special to manage this feature. So this is on and I would say we are there and trying to see how to overcome these challenges. I would say we have started this activity, I would say 3-4 years before, and we are closing the phase one and we are going to start the phase two implementation where all the data for the process is being automatically monitored, goes to the server. We get only a flash of what's going on, whether my process is in control or not. So this is what we are planning now.
Excellent. I think you gave like a total, almost a 40,000 view of the entire landscape of quality challenges as well as the strategies which you are deploying to that. So just to rephrase what you said, so you basically said that for you, process management is one of the biggest challenges because, as you said, managing compliance from various certification bodies and also from your customers, suppliers. So process management, of course, plays a very important role. And I think you also mentioned that you already implemented a digital tool for that. And then secondly, you said that you have already started monitoring certain key parameters from your machines. So the second M is also taken care. And then you mentioned that operator training and of course informing the operator what the S and what is R. And I'm sure work instructions would also play a very crucial role in such scenarios. So I think pretty much you are covering all four M's through the current strategy which you are deploying. So moving on. So Uma, my next question is related to the strategy side of quality, and also how does quality align to your overall corporate strategy? So I'm sure that most of the organizations, especially suppliers like you, are extremely focused on production. But in the whole mix of the pressures of production and also sales, how does quality play a role in formulating a strategy for your company?
Okay. Yeah, yes. Unlike any manufacturing company, yes, production is key. Okay. Now IMGS, I would say the strategy for IMGS by itself is quality comes first, production comes next. Because we always believe when the quality, safety is being taken care, the production comes automatically. So that is our, I would say, the pillar or strategy or mantra or whatever we say, the top-driven approach from the company. So we don't focus specifically for as for production by itself. So for production, the support system, okay, the forum, as you said, the man, machine, method, material. So we are only addressing the four M's, how it's been managed, okay, how it has been controlled. For example, as you said, the man, we don't, we have a policy, we only use authorized person for special processes and critical process. For example, grinding, we don't use any other person who's available to be put on a mission. For example, it's only we authorize them is being licensed. This is one thing. And for special processes, we have now introduced a biometric control. For example, nobody can enter an injection in cell to make a change. So this is on the man part. We are not done for the full scale of manpower, but we have started to identify the critical processes where we use only the authorized people and authorized I would say inspectors needs to be deployed in that particular process of the station. Coming to the material, we always have this concept. We, we used to say to our customers, we work with these suppliers. If they are not up to the standard, we say we don't want to work with these type of suppliers. It's rather better to not supply taking somebody who's not good. So that doesn't make any sense. Where you also clearly give a message on the requirements to the suppliers as well as the customers. And I would say the third is the method. So method, as I said, every process every process. For example, we use a check or a fixture. Now SAP also is being brought into. For example, you know that people have been using the gauge calibration monitoring using SAP. Now we have started to calibrate and calibration and monitoring the fixtures using SAP compliance. For example, I get a report every day in order to say that in this line, this fixture is going to be due for calibration. Okay, it will say you have 4, 5 fixtures in this line to be calibrated in this week. So we have already digitized wherever we see a problem, what are the challenges we are trying to overcome, we have started working on it. So, and then there are certain detailing features in the features. For example, you know that any machine, if you go, if you ask them, there will be only two results which is coming out for any of the problem. Okay, I'm talking about only the process issues. Either it will be a tool problem, either it will be a fixture problem, and or the other one, it will be a setting problem. So when we say the fixture, it is key because it is touching the part, it is holding the part, and the tool which comes to touch the part, that is also critical. So these two things, if you connect and make sure that it is up to date and it's calibrated, it's working well, then 100% of the problem is solved on the process side. And the detailing, when I say the fixture has some parts which is get worn out. Okay, for example, you start using this for number of times and it will say the parts can worn out. Okay, the fixtures which is holding the part, and then we'll say we'll try we have replaced the fixture. When we replace the pin in the fixture, that's all very trivial issues. So what we have done is we have brought everything into SAP. What we have done is, so if SAP will tell me this week which are the features needs to be calibrated and which are the parts which may get worn out next 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, 30 days. So it will show me up what's happening. And coming to machine already we have corrected all the machines using a software called Vimana. So this software will publish a dashboard when there is a downtime, when there is a plant time, or it's a breakdown time. It will shows up if there is any abnormal in the machines or any alarms are created in this machine, or how it is going to be managed. Okay, and then the tool life. We say the operator should change the tool within 300 numbers. Whether there was alarm in 300 numbers and this being changed and then it is started from zero. So what we have done is we have integrated, Aditya, we have tried to integrate that. There are so many things happening. For example, process controls, process management, features management, machine management, method material. So many things are happening. We are trying to pull only the key stuff and we try to integrate all into one dashboard. For example, if you want to know whether in a particular line, whether there is a problem with machine or it's a problem with the method or it is problem with material, we'll be able to know that. So we are trying to create an integrated dashboard. It's like a health check, whether this line is in control or not. So these are the strategies we are trying to develop internally to promote and to make people understand this is key. And as I said, when you manage these 4 M's, automatically production will drop. Okay,
Yeah.
So this is how we are trying to manage these 4 M's. And to be very honest, we don't review the production numbers every day. We don't review the MRM production numbers. We don't review at all. We only review the forum status, the dashboard which is coming from the forum management, and as well as the quality thing. Because when you know the quality is abnormal and the rejections are right, for example, you take a line which shows PPM is 10,000 and your customer complains, that means that line is not doing well. We know the production is not doing good. So we flip the metrics by itself. We are just monitoring only the forum, mainly focusing on the method and material and machine man. And then we also monitor the key performance indicators for quality as COP and customer complaint. And also we also see what is the downtime because of the quality, for example, setup time. So why so much time is being taken for setup? So what we can do to improve this situation? So we look at that angle. So we have flipped, and this is working, and this is what we have been doing for almost the last 2 years, and it's really benefiting us. So it's not that we are keeping aside production, but when you manage this, definitely we have seen this the mindset is getting changed within the team because they also know they have to report on what they have done on beforehand and what's happening, the real stuff which is going on, which needs to be published, managed at top level. They will also focus that. And quality, as I said, too, the customer complaints as well as the internal COPQ. So when you manage all these five, and then just coming in an integrated dashboard where life is easy, and then every day morning, 8:30, 8 o'clock, 8 to 8:30, we'll get this flash. We call it as flash report. This flash will tell you which line we have to go and attend to it.
No, excellent. I think very good to know that we now have companies like yours in India who have made quality as the central strategy for going to the market. Rather than looking at pure numbers. I mean, good to know that, Uma. Now, no, I'm sure that when you made all these investments in digital, obviously you would have a hard time to convince your management that this is the right decision to make and this is the right technology to invest in. And I'm sure you would have done a lot of study during that time related to what would be the financial parameters which would get impacted if you implement such a technology. Now you have an experience for more than 2 years, 3 years now. So according to you, which are the financial KPIs you feel are impacted most through the intervention of digital? And if you can cite some examples, that will be really good without really compromising on the confidentiality of the numbers.
Um, uh, the KPIs, I would say, the first KPI, I would say, the number of new products which is coming into the organization. Okay, and you can see a difference when these type of things are transforming the organization, your digital platform, when you focus more on quality and process. The first KPI, I would say the financial KPI is one thing, but the KPI which is increasing your number of new products, because which is giving confidence to your customer, and you have cleared all their requirements say by various audits they do, because it doesn't come straight away. It doesn't mean that somebody does a machining and then they give a RFQ and they start saying that you can produce. It's not anymore. So they start with very stringent on it. I would say that I could name the customer. We have last year we have gone through, I would say, 12 audits to get through. Okay, I'm not saying it's not 12 times we have failed and then we have get there. It is 12 different level of audits which is being done for one project. Okay, that gives the confidence. As I would say, the first KPI is to see number of products which is getting into the organization. This is first one. And second, I would say the COPQ, the cost of poor quality. When we say the cost of poor quality, we know that this is very normal. Any organization monitors, but we also monitor the inspection time and the setup time, where the digitalization comes in. So the digitalization, when I say the COPQ, for example, what happens is you take a part, you give it to the lab, they inspect and they do the reading. By the time they also have their basic checks before they go to the lab. Based on the basic check, they start to do the inspect. They start producing the parts, and later some feature it's going out of specification. Already we have produced 30, 40 parts. So this is also COPQ. So this is how to say, we have to connect the features that need to be inspected to approve the parts to run in the machine or the process. So we also monitor the inspection time and the setup approval time. So how much time we take. This is all financial implication. The reason I'm saying is because the machine is waiting. The machine is waiting. So all because how do we know that? We started asking them to log all these losses. The losses, we are not surprised to see that there is parts being not being done because waiting for inspection. So, and this is also a financial KPI. The reason is because the machine is not been producing and it has been waiting for the inspection period. So this is second KPI, I would say. The first one, the number of new products which is coming into your company based on the process systems you have built over a period of time to give confidence to the customer. So this is first thing. And second is your COPQ. When I say COPQ, it's not only the rejection, it should also connect your lost time because of the inspection and your setup approval. This is second KPI. The third is obviously yes, your external COPQ. For example, now if there is any complaint in our company, we create a code. Okay, the code have to be booked for all the expenses. Even we visit the customer, that also needs to be booked in. And we also need to log our time, I would say the inspection time, the meeting time, everything, in order to see how many. It's not that it is important. Okay, we have a problem, we have to solve it, we have to see that it's not recurring. All this will happen. But how much time and effort you are putting in to solve this problem, in order to compare how much time would have taken not have this problem, to see the factor. So these are the three KPIs I would say it's really key for any organization. But the KPIs is one thing, but that KPI, what will be the detailing needs to be added. For example, I don't think it's normal to capture all your meeting time, your visit time, and your expenses being booked for your travel to attend a complaint. To that level, we need to capture, which gives you a actual financial loss uh, to the company. So, and as I said, we have started to compare for solving a problem, customer complaint, what is the amount, and to implement to make it not happen, what is the amount, to see how it is being factored. So that means always it will be 100 times minimum.
Excellent. No, I think good to know because I would assume that any new product you add directly adds to your top line. Because that's net new sale which you are making for maybe an existing customer or a new customer. So I think you rightly pointed out. I mean, in fact, I never thought that way that quality could play such a crucial role in getting new products into the company. I mean, good to know that, Uma. Now, so yeah, so moving to the last question of this discussion, Uma. I know that people play a very important role in any transformation, be it organizational transformation or, digital transformation. So how are you taking care of the people part during this, digital transformation and quality transformation journey at IM Gears? I mean, what are you doing in terms of upskilling them and, motivating them? So what's the strategy on that?
So, in anything, Aditya, but as you said, digital platform is one thing because it's new to the organization. Definitely, it will be new to people. Okay. So, what be any digital transformation or implementation for any process, for example, SQC platform or QMS platform, for example, your database data generation. So whatever stuff we are bringing in. So what we do is first we explain the intent. Okay. First we explain the intent of bringing this particular requirement, and then also we tell them the intent, the purpose of bringing this particular requirement to the organization. And second, we need to find the folks who are really interested to take this forward. For example, some will be skilled in SPC, some will be in QMS, some will be in creating dashboards for example, now one team is specifically working on collecting all the final inspection data. For example, we have a digital inspection, so they are trying to pull that from the equipment and they convert this as a dashboard so that we know that how many features is being inspected in a day and how much is okay and how much is not okay. So what we do is we trying to create a CFT kind of thing. Okay, and the advantage for us is we have three plans. So, okay, that is also an opportunity for us to connect all the three plans in some way to see how this can be taken forward. So, for example, when we launched this QMS platform, so we had people from Morocco, we had people from Plant 1 and Plant 2. So this is how we try to create a momentum with them, and then we also motivate them. They present this to our top management. Okay, even we have weekly 1 hour slot for executive director. So they present even in the small thing, what is the change they have done from what they have been doing and what problem they have solved and how it's helping them. We ask them to deliver. So, and second, when we implement, we only do a pilot. We don't expand this in a big way. We do a pilot. We understand the issues. We understand the learnings, and we make sure that learnings is being implemented, integrated, and then we move to the next stage. So the piloting is one thing, and the CFT has been second thing. And third is we have identifying the critical training for the people. For example, as I said earlier, the special process requirement, the regulatory compliance is becoming very tougher. So what we're trying to do is we are identifying the critical training requirements for the teams. Okay, and last week I was saying we did it for CQA 9, especially for heat treatment, and now we're going to do for CQA 12 and CQA 15. It's specific and very niche requirement when you are in heat treatment, in special processes, surface treatment requirements. So the challenge, I would say, one, motivating them, we are already doing, we have started to do it. And second is retaining them. That is the thing, because these kind of people, when they have seen the result and then they have seen the momentum, they have seen that it's giving benefit. And if you don't do another project, then it will be a problem. And we try to keep them engaged. Always, I would say, the mandatory requirement for IMS, there should be always 2 improvement projects working on people should be working on. It could be anything, but it should improve the current situation. It can be a digital requirement or it can be anything. For example, even simplification of the process. So this is how we try to keep the people engaged, and we also have layers. Okay, and moreover, this layer should go down level. For example, we keep the M level, and then M should go to executive level, and executive level to go to operator level. And every week we have a R&R program where we recognize the operators in the shop floor. It can be anything. For example, I would say if they are stopping a product which is seem to be not okay, they have a doubt, they have stopped the line. We appreciate them. That is how we build the quality culture. And then we empower the people. For example, in IM case, for quality, anybody can take any decision without any approvals. If they want to stop the line, they need not call me, or if they cannot call their production manager, supervisor. So we empower people. And this is how we also make them feel important in the organization so that they can move towards the requirements and where the customer expectations be met. And this is the need of the hour. Any one issue going out, I would say you cannot imagine that the efforts you need to put. So these type of mindset change, cultural changes is really needed. And the teams also should be equipped in such a way they should be empowered that they can do for quality, anything for quality.
Excellent. Now, I think you made the right point. I think rewards and recognition is a great way to motivate the team, and I'm glad that IMGS is already doing that. But I just want to ask a follow-up question on that. So there would be some senior people also in the organization. I know that IM Gears ED is quite young, but I'm sure the other people like say in R&D and other functions, senior people. So what are you doing for them? I mean, in terms of bringing them up to the digital technology, whatever you are implementing. So are there some special programs you're running for them as well?
Yes, certainly yes. Okay, when we say the digital platform, it's not only about quality. Okay, it's for the organization. As you rightly said, the SPC platforms or QMS, it's going to connect the entire. It's basically the QMS is how the organization is going to function. So what we do is we have a pilot for each of the department. For example, you take project management, there will be one pilot. There will be production, there will be one pilot. If you take methods, there will be one pilot. There will be one each pilot for each of the function. When there is any digital transformation or any such initiative which is going to be launched in the organization, we call them. Okay, as I said, it's we need to also explain them the intent, and moreover, what we do is if it is for SPC, then quality will be the safety leader. When it is a tool which is to be managed for APQP, and then we put the project manager team member as the CFT leader. So this is how we make them. You understand the role gets changed for them. So some initiatives, quality will be a member. Some for features, some programs, the quality will be the member. So it is like that. So And there will be two, three initiatives or programs which will be running. At least in a month, we see at least two, three programs running. So this is how we connect the teams, and they also understand each other. They work together, and most importantly, they have to understand each other's problem. Okay, and also we are when we work with this type of companies, when the digital platform has been brought in, we also tell them our requirement clearly. Okay, and I can say that ETQ, when we launched, we took time. The reason is we said we don't want to go for all the phases together. We said we'll take one module first, and then we test it, we learn it, and then we expand. So this is how we have done. It is working well, and this is the model we also planning to do, and this is working well. So we connect all the departments, and as we saw, we have a pilot for each of the department for this type of initiatives, basically for quality requirements. As we have internal auditors across the company for each function, we also have pilots for this digital quality systems and platforms which we are bringing in. So, and when I said the dashboard, Aditya, as I said, there is a dashboard flash report which comes every day. This dashboard goes to these pilots also. So the pilots knows that there is something to do with methods, something to do with material, something to do with man. It also goes to HR. So everybody knows that okay, today this line is okay, and this line I need to work on the material. This line. So there is a connection which is also bringing this digital transformation, where we are flashing the exact reality of what's happening, and what's happened in the shop floor.
So good to know, Uma. I think it was a great experience understanding from you the overall quality journey and the digital transformation which you have embarked on. And it's very refreshing to know that company like yours has really come up with great ideas and also great technology which you have implemented, and also your strategy to bring the people along as you unfold this digital transformation for future. So with that, we come to the end of this discussion. I would like to thank you very much. And I look forward to more opportunities to spend time with you, Uma. And
Sure,
hopefully, next time we'll do a discussion in person when I'm in Chennai.
sure.